Welcome to the Lake Forest Podcast, a podcast about the lovely city of Lake Forest, featuring topics like news, sports, music, people, and food. My name is Pete, and I also live in Lake Forest. I'm joined today with my co-host, Skoo Walker. Skoo, how you doing, buddy?
Good, Pete. How are you? Happy post
Oh,
Fourth of or Independence Day. I was told,
yeah.
not Fourth of
Well, it's
July.
the fifth. Well,
Yeah,
it's the fifth.
I
They
said
say
post.
if you have a fifth on the fourth, I forget how that goes, but your fifth. If you have five drinks on the fourth, your fifth isn't going to be too hot. Anyways, hey, we got a sponsor for the show, Skoo. Neuro Noodle. Hey, parents of athletes, your kids get a physical every year, right? We'll include a brain map so you have a baseline to compare it to in case something happens. It takes only 20 minutes to get the data you need to know if your athlete should get back on the field. Neuronoodle.com. One of the things we like to do here on the Lake Forest podcast is give some small business love to our local businesses in Lake Forest. And we're joined today by Lynda O'Connor. She's a co-owner of O'Connor PR. Let's chat with Lynda and find out how to get a book published. What do you say, Skoo? Lynda,
Good.
thanks for coming on the show.
You're welcome. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, Lynda, tell us about O'Connor PR. How'd you come up with the name?
What's O'Connor Communications? And obviously, my name's Lynda O'Connor, and Jim O'Connor is my husband. So it was a natural.
Okay. All right. I'm just trying to be smart ass.
I
We'll
know.
let that out in post.
That's easy to
Uh,
do.
okay. So you're the PR side of things, and I see Jim's written a couple books. Can you tell us how you guys got started, met, about the business?
Okay, excellent. We did PR for a long time before we specialized in books. And we had all kinds of clients, doctors, lawyers, Indian chiefs. And then Jim wrote a book. His first book was called Cuss Control, the complete book on how to curb your cursing. And the media, I know, it's hard Pete, for you to do, but I don't know about Skoo, but but yes, so the
Ever.
media went crazy for this book. I mean, we had Jim had 6 interviews before 8 o'clock in the morning. It was crazy, and that lasted years and years. Because at that time, everybody was swearing. There was sort of a trend, like on television and radio, people started swearing. Prior to
Right.
that, it wasn't even allowed on the airwaves. You couldn't swear. So things changed. But we thought it was a loss of civility, and that we thought that swearing was like the dumbing down of America. So Jim wrote a book about how to control your swearing and when you can do it and when you can't. So the media went crazy over that book. So we decided to specialize in authors and in books in general, because we had in PR, in a way, we're a small PR firm. There's just 2 of us, plus we have freelancers and helpers when we need them. But the media like trends, they like something new. And if you write a book and you want to get published, the best thing to do is write something unique, something that has never been done before. And so in this swearing book, it has never been done before. We decided to contact an agent in New York, and that agent happened that day to go by a store in New York, and she saw all these T-shirts with the worst swear words you could possibly imagine, and she was offended. So luckily, the day that we sent her the idea about publishing a book, she was an agent, a literary agent in New York, and so that day she happened to have seen the store with swear words, and she loved the book because the timing was right. And in a way, if you want to publish your book, timing is important. Timing is very important. So that worked for us. Oh my gosh, the phone's ringing. I'll have to pick it up.
Good. It could be money. Take it.
Right.
But anyway,
Cash register.
so that's important when you write a book, and when you request that it be published. So there's a lot of factors in publishing a book and promoting a book. So timing always is important.
Got it. Speaking of timing, when did you guys start the business?
We started the business in 1998.
98. Okay. So the
98.
internet was just getting going, right? Did you
Yeah.
notice things going to digital, PDFs, Kindles? What have you witnessed along the way?
The witness was a total disruption of how PR was done in the past. Because PR used to be done, it was much easier in the old days because what you sent a press release out by mail, snail mail, the media
Yeah.
got it. Now it's like you've got to take so much time. Now there's 1,000 things you've got to do in order to promote a book or even get it noticed. So in a way, it's much, much harder. And in another
What,
way, it's easier because you have more options in how to promote a book.
Lynda, did I see you? Were you about to say crap?
Correct. Say what? No, no,
I,
that wasn't me. That was something else.
all right, all right. We'll edit that on
What was
post
it?
because I thought the the way
How many
you
did
can.
you have yesterday, Pete?
The repeat.
I don't know. I'm broke. My wife's got a tip jar. She's over at the Lake Forest shop using all the money. So Lynda, okay, so there's more choices, there's more distribution channels to get out there. Would you ever use an aggregator like we used to be called PR Newswire, now it's called Cision, something like that, or
All the time. But PR Newswire has changed because in the old days, maybe like 15, 12 years ago, you sent out a press release on the PR Newswire. It went to everybody you wanted it to go to. It went to the editor of, let's say, a magazine. It went to the right people. Now, and then you got pickup. We used to send out a press release, and within 5 minutes, we had 100 media requests. Now you send out a press release on PR Newswire, and you don't get any. All you get is your press release appearing on a website, let's say of the different news media, but it doesn't go to the proper people. It goes just to the website. So you don't get pickup. You've got to be more creative. So you've got to, rather than PR Newswire, which I would still use, but you've got to contact the individual reporters, the individual producers of a television show or a radio show. It's not a blanket. It doesn't work because the media are inundated with requests. So it takes a lot more work. And you need a staff of 150 just to contact all the people you have to. So, but the media do like you to contact them individually. But since there's more media people, it's harder.
yeah. Oh,
PR News.
that
Go ahead.
no, that makes sense. It's the PR Newswire. They recently got bought by Cision, and now I've heard that before. It's easier to. It's almost like you have to get you're using PR Newswire or Cision to get all the contacts that you have to reach out to individually, like you just said. That could take a while, huh?
Well, it's even more complicated than that. They don't want a press release. Let's say the individual producers or the individual editors. No, they want to, like, dear Bobby, instead of dear producer. So you've got to really be targeted when you contact someone, and you've got to do it unique because each magazine targets different people. Let's say you're not going to send let's say a request to someone in the sports arena with a book about a self-help book. I mean, so it's really, really targeted and takes a lot of time. So you've got to find you've got to be very creative, and it's good. It's more challenging, but eventually you'll get responses. And I'd say go ahead.
When did Jim's book come out?
2000. His first book came out in 2001 about swearing.
And the second one?
In the second one, he wrote a novel about. It was a novel about a home organizer when, again, the home organizing trend was just getting started. But because Jim was the first, he got on every show. He got on Good Morning America. He got on Oprah. He got on. The timing again has to be right. You can't be late. You've got to be the early pioneer in the trend.
It's almost like you got to get the right title of the book first, then the headline, and then put some content in there, huh?
Well,
Unfortunately, like social media, that's how people get their news. They read 2 lines of text and they form the narrative, right?
yeah, if you happen to spend all your time on social media, I mean, people that are working, they don't have really that much time to do social media. And now that jobs are coming back, it's going to reverse. I think maybe you got to go back to the beginning because social media is for people who aren't working. I mean, so we're going to have to see what replaces social media. I mean, it's always new, and so you've got to
Right.
keep up. Yeah, you've got to be really ahead of the trend.
Well, speaking of the new, that second book, do you remember the year his second book came out in organizing?
That was
Around.
around 2000, probably 8 or something like that.
Okay, good. Because the difference between 2001 and 2008, Kindle came in somewhere around there. The iPhone came out 2008-ish, somewhere around there. What did you notice there and distributing the content?
You mean with social media?
Well, specifically Kindle, you can have electronic book versus, physical, getting it out there and getting a percentage, paying the cut to Amazon or whoever. Did you notice anything different on that second book compared to the first book on distribution?
Well, oddly enough, yeah. So we did. Jim did. It was a Kindle as well. But now, like last year and the year before, the books that are selling again are hardcover. More hardcover sold than the Kindle. So it's just week by week, month to month, and you can almost find things out. Publishers Weekly, which is a magazine for publishers, they have sort of a list as to what's selling and what's not selling. But the Kindle went down, it's gone down. So now people are back to hardcover reading it.
So the tangible aspect of it?
People reading a book, physical book, holding it up rather than a Kindle. Because more of them.
Come on, Jim, pop in here. Jim, how you doing? Pete Janson, Skoo Walker.
Give you less information I have to make. You're writing a book, you have to ask yourself, who's going to read my book? Who's it for?
Who's the audience?
Who's the audience? How do I reach that audience? If people write a book, they say, oh, it's for everybody. It's for everybody. And my novel is for everybody. But it's more focused on organizing and the theme is about is organizing, cheating on his wife.
In fact, before you do anything, you should really say, who's my audience? Because you can have a great topic and an audience that's 5 people, and it's not going to work. So you've got to have when you write a book, because when you write a book, you can sort of adjust it to who your audience is at that time. So in other words, you've got to think ahead. You really got to think ahead. And so yeah, it's all, you've got to think strategy before you write, because you write it differently, before.
Yeah. So putting do you pitch, what's the process where you pitch a publisher, like say New York, you have an agent, you give the headline topic, a few pages. How does that work to figure if they're going to buy it or not?
So before, like right now, I'm pitching a book, which this is interesting. This book is hot. This book is it's a memoir by Michael Kutza. And Michael he actually invented in America the film festival. Before Michael was the founder and director of the Chicago International Film Festival. And there was never any film festival in America before Michael Cusso. There was one in Canada, and there was one in Cannes, in France. That was the first. And Montreal, and they had this big film festival. So Michael started when he was 22 years old, the film festival. in America. Okay, I thought this was going to be a shoo-in, an easy sell, and it's turned out to be a very hard sell because it's sort of it's a Midwest thing, the Chicago International Film Festival, and it's sort of a niche, movies and the film festival. So sometimes when you think something's easy, it's not. But see, Jim's book about swearing was more of a universal problem. So, and the way you would pitch a more local Midwest a topic would be different than the way you pitch a national. Because swearing is an international problem. They swear in every country in Tanzania and in Chicago. They're swearing. And you know what? They love to swear. People love to swear. Just different language. But anyway, so you've got to think.
In Jim's book, I'm just curious, throwing it out there. We could probably edit this out, but is there like an index of what the cuss words are, so we know if we made the list or not?
Yeah, there's a whole article on the F word, a whole chapter on the S word. I'm gonna say it.
I'm gonna pick up a copy of the book to just see what the list is, because I'm gonna work
Four
on
languages.
Jim had his shit list. How everybody, they use shit for all the different occasions. Whether, so the ship had like, you can use it for like 150 ways. Was
like describing this podcast.
Yeah.
High school. High school, I said, swearing is common. Basic language. People use it for everything.
Jim, come into the, come in and be, that's good.
High school talk, I heard.
Just 6 words. It's amazing. I said, 75 examples of how we use this. And I'm going to read it to you. I feel like shit, you look like shit, I can't hear shit. You know, all the shit, common expressions. Anyway, everybody they laugh at that.
Man, Jim, you know what the bottom line in a way is? Make people laugh. Because if someone picks up a book, they're going to want to be entertained. And even if you write a serious book, they still want to be entertained. You've got to make everything, think of the audience. They want to laugh, they want to be entertained. Because you're competing with 1 million books that are out there. I think I heard that 1 million books a year are published. So all these little things, they count when you're writing a book or when you're promoting a book. Even the way you promote a book, entertain people, make them want to pick it up and read it.
Hey, Lynda, you mentioned, sorry, Pete.
No, go.
You had mentioned, Lynda, that it's back in the day, it was a lot easier promoting and all that. What challenges do you see versus 10, 12 years ago today with the internet and all that? And then number two, any secret sauce that O'Connor Communications has that draws people in to use you guys?
Oh yeah, we, because of Cision, we want the Cision, and we pay a lot of money, like $3,000 a year, just to get a database, a list of all the media in the country. So, and a lot of people don't have that. I mean, the small agencies might not want to pay $3,000 a year for that database. The big agencies, they have they have a lot of people that work there, and they might charge a client $20,000 a month to promote anything, but we charge a lot less. But it does cost money. But the difficult part about promoting a book now is the time, because there's so many options. There's so many different outlets we have to contact. And then also the author has to have more time to promote a book. He's got to be on podcasts, radio shows, television shows. And if he has a job, a regular job, it's pretty hard to fit everything in. So in a way, if an author has to dedicate a lot of time, in a way, maybe just quit his job and promote his book. And it's very rewarding. And I'll say one thing, any author that promotes a book, he will have the time of his life. He'll have so much fun waking up in the morning saying, where am I going to be today? What television show am I going to be on? What fun can I have? And any author who who's promoted a book from us, they've had a blast, probably the time of their life, being on television, radio, in the media. It's fun, but it's a lot of work, and they have to realize they have to dedicate their time to promoting their book.
Right. We've had a couple authors on here. We've had David Sweet, we've had Jim Campbell, and they told us a little bit about their experiences. How would an up and comer that wants to get to their level, how would they start with you? Do you screen them out, or who do you take out? Whoever pays up front first?
Well, you know what? Well, someone wanted PR from us. There was a guy who had a book on, I would rather take someone, I would like to take someone like Jim Campbell, who was our client. The Jim Campbell from
Wait, Jim's your client? Hold on now.
Jim from Wisconsin.
Jim, he did the Madoff Talks book.
He did what?
Madoff Talks.
Oh, no.
The Bernie Madoff book.
Oh, no, there's another Jim Campbell.
Another Jim Campbell, okay.
And Jim Campbell, Madoff. Well, anything with Madoff. See, if you have a celebrity book, it will sell. Bernie Madoff was a celebrity. If you have anyone who's got a household name or even a product, like maybe you want to promote a new product that will make you beautiful when you're 90 years old. I mean, something unique, but
here I got one. Arthur Miller, our history expert for Lake Forest, who comes on the show once a week. He's an author. He's got a couple books out.
The easiest way to promote a book, if a client has a celebrity name, that goes a long way because the media loves celebrity. But if the author's entertaining and he can make you laugh, and he can, he has some new information, I'd take that person because he'd be fun to work with, and he has something unique. So yeah. I say
sort of like Skoo Walker.
Stu Walker.
I could use my real name. That has celebrity name connotation.
Yeah. Well, you know what else?
Walker.
If you're charismatic, that will help sell a book too. If you're good looking, I hate to see it, but if you're good looking, that helps. If you're good with the media, it all helps. If you're a dud, if you got a great book with a great topic, but you're like the personality of a stone, it won't work. Skoo and you would be great because you're energetic and charismatic. It all matters.
You hear that, Skoo? We're energetic. Which one's energetic and which one's charismatic? Well,
Anyway,
we can answer that later.
You got me a good looking. That's when I stopped listening.
What, Jim?
One important comment.
One comment.
You send out a press release, it goes to thousands of people. You don't know. You just want to make phone calls.
Oh, yeah.
Magazines, you really interested to call them up, say, there's a special book for your audience. And that's better.
In other words, Jim's saying that you've got to follow up no matter what you do. Sending out a press release isn't enough. You've got to keep following up until the media respond to you. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for the PR person and for the author, because he's got to be available morning, noon, and night. Skoo, I'm sure, stays up till like 4 in the morning working. Don't you, Skoo? So you're available.
I'm always working.
I know.
Even when I'm sleeping, I'm working.
That's and I'm sure. And Pete, you too, I'm sure. The phone is by your ear, and you're all dressed even when you go to sleep. You're available even in your
24
pajamas to be
24/7.
Baby.
Every media picture you'll see, I have the same shirt on. I'm ready.
I know you're probably in your pajamas. You probably got your pajamas, cute ones, that you're available for the media.
Well, it's too warm for the footies.
So Lynda, so somebody's out there looking to write a book or is in the process of, how do they get that going? They reach out to you or to Jim and you get the ball rolling PR wise, or how does someone get that going?
They can call us morning to night, because we are available at o'connorcommunications.com. Our phone number is 847-615-5462. And our email, well, you really want that right now? It's kind of hard to remember, but it's Lyndao@o'connorpr.com with an OR, Lyndao@o'connorpr.com. And you know what?
We'll have everything in the podcast notes. We'll have the links to your sites and whatnot. No, definitely.
And you know what? Something that's important. We love our clients. We really value them, and we end up being good friends with all of our clients because we're really interested. I mean, we really care about them, and we're a small company. So, and again, we're available all the time. And sometimes people work with someone from India, and I mean, that wouldn't work, promoting a book or promoting anything. You've got to be available to your clients.
It's definitely hard to deal with somebody from Cleveland.
And multiply that by 100 and try to deal with someone from Iceland. It's pretty hard.
Yeah, no, definitely. What else do we miss, Lynda? How else can we help you out?
Right.
You're local, right? Lake Forest, Lake Bluff. Where?
We've been here for about 26 years in Lake Forest, and we love our business, and we can meet with anyone in Lake Forest or anyone in Chicago. So local's good, but we have clients everywhere in the country we've never met. And it doesn't matter with Zoom and the phone.
Yeah.
Well, Lynda, when does someone contact you? When the book's complete, or they're thinking about it, or they're partway through it?
I think they should contact us before they start it.
Okay.
Because you know what? They might even slant the book differently when they know, the best way to reach an audience. So we can maintain a relationship when they're before they start the book, during, after. So it's kind of a constant thing, yeah. And even after, even 5 years later, 10 years later, we're still helping them, and we don't even charge. After a certain time, we do everything free.
What?
Yeah, because we want to help our clients.
That's the secret sauce.
Oh man, free.
Right. Free, a lot of we actually because we want to, the more we succeed with the book, the better they do, the better we do. Because
That's right.
Things word of mouth. If you have a bad relationship or a bad experience, you'll say don't deal with that person. Or if you a good experience, yeah, it's word of mouth.
I mean, it's really sales, right? You can sell anything to anybody once, but if you screw them over, dang it, tip jar. You won't get any referrals, right? I mean,
That's the name of the game, referrals. Yeah. So I will be happy to tell people about you guys, and we'll talk later, and I have a lot of ideas for you who you can have on the podcast.
oh, thank you so much, Lynda.
Awesome.
That's great. All right. Well, thanks for listening to the Lake Forest Podcast. Please give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and smash that like button on Facebook, Instagram, and follow us on Twitter. Let us know what you'd like to hear about on the upcoming shows. Again, I'm Pete, and I can be reached at pete@lakeforestpodcast.com. All the links that we talked about will be in the notes below. On behalf of my co-host, Skoo Walker, we thank you for listening. And if you really, really like us, you can buy us a beer. The link will be in the notes below. And Skoo, please get rid of that White Sox trophy. It's gathering a lot of dust. Cue the band.